Make sure everything's good here. Alright, let's break down some Aussie CAD. We'll set this. I'm going to move all of these monthly markers. So now we know that from now to here is a month. Let's first figure out the month. Something I like to do is sitting at about 300 pips. Based on probably going to be bearish. So we can keep this at. Just move this down. There you go. That's roughly 300 pips from here to here. We'll adjust this as we need. So Aussie CAD is probably still bearish going into the month of July. Prices below this moving average, struggling with this area still. So we will wait for it, find an area, probably break lower, and then head lower after that. I would adjust this one to 88.5, 85.5. So that is still 300 pips. So if the high for the month, and it is a bearish month, there's a good chance it goes down to here. It's normal monthly range, and if it is going to continue bearish, that is where it's going to go. So we will wait for this to come up to some point, maybe here or somewhere else in this little area here. And we will short positions, but as of right now there is not much, but it's good to know that this is still bearish, and we'll head lower, continues its trend. There's obviously this major zone here that might affect it a bit. It's not that right now, so delete it, look at it later. Aussie Swiss, I did end up making really good money on this pair last month. The same, it's got this zone here. It's obviously still bearish, way below this moving average. You move this on the monthly around it, we'll say 250 pips a month. If this is the high, then the low will be down here, 57.5, 250 spread. So let's say price keeps coming up a little bit and it finds its monthly high right here. Boom, it's gonna head down and crack this zone. This is a huge zone, it's gotta break that. And it'll probably head lower to this zone. We'll wait for that. It's our support area up here. Maybe it'll form another one down here. This, you can see there's a zone here. It might come up a bit more, hit this zone, head down ideally. AJ, like I said, previous streams, going for higher highs, but we can move these all over. Now August, set our monthly low here. We're going to target, on average it moves, if you include this month, it'll be about 500 pips. This is a reasonable average. Like I said, we'll set 6, and our target for the month, 101. Fib level. So when looking for these buys, we got to look for this either to break some resistance. So right now it's creating lower lows, so a couple things need to happen. We need this to this area of resistance, and then we need price to not only break this, and then we need it to come down, and it can't be lower than this area because that will invalidate. We're back on the rise. To break this, and this goes for all the yen, we need to break this area, come down to like here, and then make another high. Then we know that price is continuing higher up. And then we can target this 101 level for the month. But until then, we just let it do its thing. It might go sideways for a week or two. We don't know, so we have to just wait. But I will set an alert here, because once it cracks the top of this area, then I kind of want to be ready for it. So that's AJ. The Kiwi looked real gross here. Clean some of this up. Figure out what's happening. This previous zone up here, sitting right on this moving average. Really know what it wants. If we look at a higher time frame, it's really just ranging, so you can still make money on it. But to figure out how it moves in a month, so on the monthly it's about 250. Technically price is below this moving average, is retesting. There was a bearish candle here, so if we look at a 4 hour, now test it below it. We don't have to take any trades anytime soon on this pair, but if we were to take a trade, it would most likely be a sell position. So let's figure out if this moves 250 a month. Let's say the high for the month is 109, then we will target, that's 250. This is the monthly range. If it's going to continue lower, it's probably going to hit this. If we hit the top of the range here, now it's going to hit towards the bottom of the range, hit this area. So we can just wait for a bit, few days, whatever it takes, just to see what it's doing. If it keeps breaking lower, and if it finds resistance up here, let's say it comes back up to this 109 area and rejects it, then we can 106.5 area for the month, because then odds are it's way down the range. AUD, USD, let's see if these dollar pairs move better this month. Set that up, rid of this zone. On average this is moving say 350 a month. There's been a ton of wicks here, so it does look like this is going to head lower. I think the Aussie is pretty weak overall as a currency. Like all the other pairs, other than the Aussie yen, I think all the Aussie pairs are going to flip down. So therefore we are going to look for a short position. Said about 350 pips a month, so we're going to find a whole number here. We'll say 67 level is going to be the high for the month. It's right in this area where it previously rejected. Good start. And we're going to target 350 pips down, so that's 65. It's going to have to beat this zone, obviously, but I don't think it'll have a problem doing that. So we just have to wait for price to come up into this area if it starts rejecting. And also this moving average, which was also in that area. So if it rejects both of those and it starts making wicks in this area, and all the other dollar pairs also correlates, if those are showing the same signs, then I would take short positions on this. We just gotta wait for it to hit the 67 level to do so. It's pretty ugly. Aussie 200 indice, some simple trades here. So on the monthly, we see that it's moved on average 400 points a month. That's including this month, which will lower the average. So we'll say about 430. We'll say, yeah, 430 probably is reasonable. So if we say our high right now is 72.40, then our low for the month would be 710, I believe. Is that the right math? We're doing 430 pips. So this is our monthly target. So this is going to be our target down, because I do believe that even though it seems to be struggling with this moving average, lower. So I think we just have to wait for that. Just need some more confirmation, either more wicks in this area, or if it came up to here and retested, then we could, or if it breaks this area, then we can jump in. Until then, we just have to wait. There's not much there, but it's good to know the monthly outlook for like this. It's like a real dramatic fall, but that is on average how much it moves. But on CAD Swiss, I also did good on this pair last month. Same this month. That's August. We always use zones here. It's on average as well. Find our high here, about 68 level. 250 is 65.5. To break this zone, lower. This is still above on the 4 hour, but it looks to be rounding off. A huge zone here that really helped us. This over. May be making a smaller zone here. May have already made it, so it's good. We'll just have to wait till it goes into this zone. If it breaks this zone, odds are it will break lower, so we just gotta wait. Or if it comes up and rejects, or if it comes up and reach level at all, then I would take a sell position. Well, this is all looking good. We just have to wait a few days early in the month and things should start playing out. CAD yen not breaking this zone. I mean, if this did retrace, it'd be great, but odds are I don't think it will. This would be our retrace zone, but I don't gonna get to that, so we're gonna just have to for new highs without them. This on average moves so 500 a month. So if our low for the month, we'll say 108, our high 14. So this is our monthly range. Over to this to help us. So right now we are still just break above this area. If we wanted to, we could wait for it to hit this area, and then it starts rejecting. You could enter buys. It's a little more risky, but I do think it's a pretty safe bet. I'm actually up 50 pips, 108.5 to 113 point. So this is going to be our monthly trade here, like that, which is dramatic, but the momentum previously shows that that is very possible. So to break this zone, and then it's probably going to keep heading up. Moving on to Swiss yen, probably going to be this thing. I might just buy all these yen pairs today and then ride them out all month. If they start dipping, I'll just buy more, but looking at about 600 pips a month on this pair. The 161 is, let's say, our monthly low. I mean, their monthly high is going to be 1.7. We need it to break this zone that it's currently fighting. So if it breaks this zone, if this daily candle closes and it's pretty full here, I would say we're good to go to just enter this monthly target. Swiss yen made me a lot of money. No banking on it. Dollar, I believe, is still just going to be bearish. August, 3.5. High is 103. So obviously we'd have to break this zone, then head a little bit lower. That's our monthly target. And that dollar in value will breeze probably a little bit. Gold. And then the crypto pairs and the other dollar pairs. Euro 50. Oh yeah, I'm going to wait to see how this closes. It hasn't opened though. Once the day opens and then closes, I'm going to see how that closes. We'll decide if we want to take a trade on this, because this price has rejected this area 4 times. So, and it was heavily bullish going into this zone, but now it's rejected 4 times. And up until Friday, you can see it was making lower entries. So, but also this, you can see price stopped when coming down here, and it stopped a bit higher than this. Maybe it's breaking back up. I mean, there's a really bullish candle, so again, we'll just have to wait. But that is something I would consider, even though I've never traded this before. Huge monthly candle. It's in an area of previous resistance, so there's a lot going on with this. But we'll say on average it moves about 300 in a month. If we were to sell this at like 20, this target would be 4,100. 20 movement, it would have to smoke this zone in order to hit that vertical. So this is our monthly goal. If it cooperates, we just gotta wait and see how the price action does as it's in this zone the next few days. If it completely destroys this zone and like blows right through it, then just disregard everything. But if it starts rejecting, then it might be worth a sell position. Euro AUD, yeah, not much going on, kind of ranging. Bullish, it's above the average, not a whole lot of action. Figure out some monthly targets. This pair moves a lot, about 600 pips a month. So if we decide that we think this is going to head lower, this at 1.5 target 159 because that's your 600 pips all right in this area. I think that's actually a very, very good trade, to be honest. So if price comes back up to this area, rejects this 165 level, I would enter for sure. Our divider line, this is our monthly goal for this one, like that. We will just wait. That's up better. Euro CAD, another one I do think is going to head lower. It's rejecting this zone a lot. To break this one now, actually tighten this up a little bit. So it's got to break this, and it's got to cross over this moving average. Euro CAD about 450 on a month, 150 or 145 or high, 450, 41.5. Your 450 pip move here, like this. That's what I would target. If this keeps rejecting here, then I think it's good. If it blows through this zone, we got to reevaluate, but 4 hours a little more choppy. No, I think that's a good setup there. We'll just have to wait. Euro Swiss, I do think head lower. All the other Swiss pairs, see it really respect this zone. It's obviously break this zone and then break this zone, but our monthly targets 20 with including this. We can be a little bit ambitious. 50, say 98 our level, 5 our target, our monthly trajectory. We'll just have to wait from up a little bit, reject, then head down. Unless it destroys this zone, then we might just enter based on a momentum and looking for a pair to head directly to this area. We'll just capitalize on that movement. We've got to wait a bit. Euro Swiss, a pound, bearish, below this moving average. We'll have to break this signet zone. On the monthly, it was bearish, 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 huge bearish candle. But then last month, this doji in this area here, which kind of tells me that it might want to reverse a little bit and head back up. But we'll just have to wait on that. See on average does it 240, about 240 a month. We'll have to adjust these later on, but for now, the 86, it does head lower. 80. So this is your monthly target, like this. If it keeps heading down and it breaks this zone, stays following this moving average. If it breaks this zone upwards, they evaluate more of a bullish monthly outlook. Have to wait on that one. Euro yen just higher with all the other yen pairs. It's got to break this. On the monthly, it probably gonna do our pips. I don't think there was any. Oh yeah, there's a zone way up here. We talked about 4. So 600 pips. We'll say 157 and low for and 163 is going high. This a month. It's gonna have to break the zone here on the 4 hour. Be good to go to enter our longs. We'll add an alert there at the top of that zone. Probably worth entering. Its price hits the top of this zone and closes up full. You can struggle before. We'll know the bulls have re-entered when it hits the top of this zone, and it's safe to enter. I mean, nothing's 100%, but our most educated guess. Euro Kiwi. I did make money off this last week, even though it took me around a bunch to start, but my fault. So what do we think is going to happen with this? So let's see it hit this top on the monthly. It's rejecting this zone, which was previous resistance here too, back in July of 2020. So on a monthly candle wise, just predict where it's going to go. Obviously, if it wants to go lower, it's going to have to break this area. It is bullish as of right now. Just on this moving average, I would say it can continue being bullish to find our low of the month, most likely. It also moves about 6 a month. 7, our low, don't need it. So then 600 pips up is 183. So our target as of right now will be something like this for the month. If it continues the trend and it finds some resistance down here where it before on trade, if it continues, and we'll look at the other Kiwi pairs and stuff and see how those correlate, because if Euro Kiwi is the only one that it seems bullish on this monthly aspect, then the other ones seem bearish. That really, if all the other pairs seem bearish, then odds are this one will be too. So it really depends how those ones look. Euro USD bullish above this move, but on a monthly aspect, usually move 400 pips. Last month was bullish, wasn't engulfing or anything the month before, so this might be kind of ranging / losing steam. So I'm going to predict that this is bearish for the month, but we will wait to enter any trades. We're going to see that the monthly high right now is 109.5. Then what do we say? 400. So that puts our low at say 400. So that's our 400 pip move. We would have to take out this area and this moving average in order to. This is totally speculative because right now it is still bullish. We don't really know what's going to happen, but this is the monthly predicament to see if price spots that it already broke or that it already rejected. So it did come up, came lower, it's been making lower lows, continues to do so. Resistance here, the 4 hour, it's currently resisting. So we will wait a bit on that. I do see it breaking lower and hitting this whole monthly range of 400 pips. Pound AUD, oh yes, we did go over this before. I think a great monthly aspect move about 700. So if our monthly high is 2, maybe even we'll say 191 for now, 700. So you're looking at 184 is your 700 pip move. Would obviously take out this zone and this zone to hit, but very reasonable. And I remember looking at the monthly aspect, that the monthly or the weekly, this was rejected so many times. Here, 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 and now see last week like that. Good chance that it reverses. Again, you would be going against this moving average right now. So we don't want to do that yet. Friday's candle was real weak. We'll see how the next few ones are. If there's a 4-hour zone, I'm actually going to delete this. This breaks below this 4-hour zone here, then be safe down. A little high risk, but very rewarding. Like we could get a very good return on it. Shrink this right down. Get this 84 level here. You might be able to cook. We just have to wait. We got our alert set here. So we'll wait till price hits this. It's obviously still rejecting here to the area here. Seems to be rejecting, which is nice. And then if it breaks lower like this, comes back up, hit the zone, shoot for a big RR. Look at that, it's 12. I would love that. So this is what we will wait for. An excellent trade. Setup, we're just gonna wait. It was really nice seeing this bearish candle on Thursday. You can see this one right here, this bearish candle engulfed the last one. So like, actually this is prime. So you got, this is a good story. So you got, this would have been Wednesday. This candle goes into this zone, gets super rejected. The wick is bigger than the body. Then the next day you got this bearish engulfing candle. And then on Friday you got this little doji candle, which also shows that like momentum of this leg here is dying down. It's an excellent trade. Setting up here, we just have to wait a little bit longer. Maybe tomorrow. Tonight it's Sunday right now, so maybe Monday or Tuesday this trade will be set up. If everything looks good, we'll jump on that. Pound CAD, we adjust all these things. Pound CAD moves about 550 in a month. Another big ones. These pound ones move a lot. We set all these. It's our August marker. Let's say our high for the month is 165. We say it moves per month. 550, like 163. The target to break this huge zone here. Again, this is bullish, but it's rejected this area quite a bit. So, and it seems like it's kind of rejected area a little bit too. So we might just have to wait a little bit. Just like the last pound pair, you can see the momentum switching and going bearish. Even on this 4-hour price was below it. It just recently might break below again. So I would actually look for short positions on this as well, but I would just wait today. So something this we want for the month. It broke this little bottom area. It would probably be good to go. So I'll wait for price to even come up to this area. An alert here. It might not make it that high. If it does, I'm even better short if it makes it up without much momentum. But there is an area here. Price rejected, 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 finally broke, came up, rejected, rejected, rejection. So might not make it up to this higher zone. We might be able to trade this, put it above. Depending on how this all closes, have to wait a day or two, see how price reacts when it hits this zone again, and then boom, this is an excellent too. That's if the bullish momentum on the pound changes over, then we're good to go. Obviously, if price blows through this zone, enters this zone with a lot of bullish momentum, and we're not going to take that short because clearly it's continue bullish, then we could readjust our trade then. But as of right now, that's what I have in mind. Sometimes if you can catch the momentum shift, even though it is higher risk because you're going against the grain right now, but if you can get in on a sell position now, or let's say in the next couple days, and then 2 weeks from now it really starts to tank down and it decides it wants to be bearish for the month, then you get a lot of money. You really just have to assess it and be ready for it to switch. And if you're a little bit early and then it does switch, you're laughing. Sometimes you lose. It does happen. How it is. Moving on, pounds. See, I also believe this pair is still bearish, even though it is above this moving average. It really wants to go higher. It really rejected this zone. We'll figure out what the monthly movement usually is. Say about 400. Let's say our high for the month is 114. We're going to target 110. It would have to bust that zone. You can see that it is producing a lot of rejection already, this 114 area. So, and this would go along with the other pound pairs that we looked at. The momentum changing, huge wick here, zone, would target some of this for the month. Trade, I just want to wait for price to come up a bit more. It will. It has been making lower lows, lower highs. Extend this zone a little bit, like this. To wait, an alert here. Now we're laughing. Ooh, pound yen. So this was our trade we drew out 2 days ago. Looks like it did what we said it would do. Might still be on the breaking lower. Shit, confusing. Actually, last very bundle. Monthly's about 8. So this is massive. Find our monthly low here. 1.8. Then our target will be 1. So we'd obviously have to break this big in order to hit 1.9 August. So if this does continue, but I do think they did just raise interest rates on the pound. So the currency itself is gaining value. That's good. Well, it's probably not going to be good, but it'll be okay. then this should continue higher. You can see that it touched this area. It's rejected this area a couple times. So I would wait for price to top of this zone. And then if it closes on a 4 hour with a lot of a nice 4 hour bullish candle, completely full, 3/4 full, then I'd say you're good to go with an alert up the top here. Then we're going to target this upper zone. Do I know if it's going to make it there? No, because this is a massive resistance zone here that we looked at before. On the monthly, you can see that it struggled with that. And then you're approaching, I believe, oh no, they're not all-time highs. Wow, this used to be a lot higher. But right here, I mean, is very significant. Back in 2015, didn't really go above 192. Like it hit 194, so doesn't really historically like to be above the 190s anymore, but still target because it is reasonable if this continues up, and this is how much it normally moves. So your trade looks something like this. So if price goes above this, if price hits the top of this resistance area, and I do believe it's safe to enter, and the bulls have resumed here. A huge, like almost 14R trade, which is phenomenal. It's what we want. If you can get in on these big moves early in the month, then it does you real well. So we have another zone here. Just keep in mind that it seems to be supporting it. That's nice. We will just wait for this because I want to see price break this. Because price has moved so much recently, people are more inclined to sell up here, or at least closed buying positions would decrease the price and get down. If you were to rebuy pound yen after it's moved this much, you would want it to retrace first, at least like 50%, then buy it lower. But so what I'm getting at is price is, it'd be more desirable for this to retrace, say like come down. Like obviously I would like to buy pound yen at 170, 170, but it might not do that, or it might do it in the mid-month. It might come up to here and then start retracing. We don't know. So you really have to be mindful of that. It seems to be struggling a little bit with this mini area, but doesn't really mean anything. It starts breaking lower. There is a bunch of daily support here, so that's huge. So that's a nice area. So like it's definitely solid. You can see that it's tried to come down a few times, but it hasn't. So I might just say, okay, well, I guess we're heading back up. So we'll wait for this to hit this top of this daily zone here, and then we'll enter a long. Pound kiwi, I also did okay with this pair last month. Do we think it's going to turn around just like all the, I wrote big short, yeah. Oh yes, this was the pair that I was looking at. Yes, I do believe this is going to turn around. It's a very significant area. It's 208 area. We can see that this last month, we can see it had huge bullish momentum, and then all of a sudden last month, it struggled. So I think it's a very big shortcoming. So, and I know this pair moves a lot. We're looking at another 700 pips. So we will set, 208 is actually bet. The bottom of this zone, we will for 2 even, or no, it's 201. Does it move 700 pips or 800? 700. 201 will be our target, like this. Very reasonable. An alert here. And yeah, wait for price to come up a bit, reject that. I think you're a safe bet to think by then this 4 hour moving average will catch up a little bit more. We can see that there's a ton of 4 hour resistance here right at the bottom of this level, so that's nice. Price actually has started to make lower lows and lower highs. Lower highs to lower lows. So you can see the price action changing as well, which is nice. Up a little bit. I think that's great right there. And so yeah, we'll wait for price to come up to this area and enter a short. If it breaks below this area before doing that, then we'll enter the short then. So very, very good trade. Excited for that. Seems to be respecting this little trend line I drew. But we'll look at our monthly outlook here. On average, about, so right now this is, but based on all the other pound pairs except pound yen, we do think that the momentum's changing with the pound. So the dollar is supposed to get weaker, so this pair might go up. So Friday was a pretty bull day, so we're going to say that prices, we'll just go with that right now. Last month was really bullish. There's no areas of resistance. There was one here, annihilated. It's based on technicals. We're not going to overthink it. We're going to check this out. But yeah, it's bullish. 550 this month. 126.5 is the low, we'll say. So at 132 is 500. I don't know if 500 is good. Well, that is 5. Well, yeah, that's our 550 for that. Our trade should look, so you can see that pulling, but that could be all it's doing is just simply pulling back. Oh, this, if you go off this 4 hour, perfect. So this is probably going to head higher. This is a C price, made its high, came down to this 50% level, and now buy this. When, I'm not sure. There's a little zone of price will come back down to that. This one we'll just have to wait to see if there's a better setup, but I do think that it's bullish for the month. It's been bullish, obviously, and I think it'll continue. but I just want to wait because there's not really areas of, since there is one here, but we might be able to figure something else out for that. This one, so we'll put an alert at the top of this area. But again, this is a 4-hour chart, and there's only 2 candles in this area. Like in this, there's only 2 wicks in this resistance zone, so I don't really think it's super valid. There's more up here, but I would take a look at this again once price hits the top of this area. So we're gonna wait on that one. But ideally, your trade for the month like slightly below this zone kind of thing. But it's obviously in a perfect world, you have to wait on that. Got our alert set. Start with that one. Our NAS 100. Okay, what do we think is gonna happen then? So on average, about 1,300 points in a month. Last month closed very bullish, but it is still technically in a little resistance zone. So that's in. This might have been very, very bullish. This might have a huge momentum switch just on the fact that there's these wicks and prices still technically in that. Anything less than 270, the top of this one, 285. So anything less than 15,285 is in that zone. It's right in the top. These weekly, you can see it's still fighting this area. So, but we'll leave this zone. This one we can delete. We will say that because this is still, as much as I don't want to admit it, it moves 1,300 points up. We're going to say this is going to continue upwards. I don't really think / hope it will, but based on these technicals, its previous history, it's going to head higher. So we'll say our low is 15,000 even number, and then our upper will be 16.3. So, but we will have to wait for price and alert top of it and just see what it does when it gets up to it. If it blows right through it, then we're probably good to enter, and then we can even move up this. We'll move this up to actually, maybe that's our monthly. Another 1, 2, 6, 4. So that'll be our target. Obviously that is really high, and that's right into this. I don't see it going above this 4 level. It's the highest that's ever. Who knows? Still do it. Been wrong before. I've been really early before. I think it'll collapse. These tech stocks, I don't know, man. Like, they're ruthless, and with AI and stuff going up, getting money, and so that's something to watch out for. We will wait. If this breaks this area with a bunch of momentum, I would buy it, and then just move your stop loss to break even after a day or two, and just see if, because there might be a nice. It might be a nice monthly bull run up to this area. It's very just consistent, just has been like this. If that's the case, we definitely want to make our money during it. We'll do. NZD CAD, we delete this little area. Resisting on the monthly, 80 high, low. What do you say, 300 pips? 100 pips. Bearish because below this moving average. Lower lows. We'll just have to wait and see how this reacts in this area. Bearish candle out of it. Then I have this huge bull candle into it. So to do. Could even tighten this zone a little bit like this. We'll just see how it reacts in this area, possibly enter short position like this. So we'll set an alert here, actually see in the zone. So we'll decide what we want to do when price hits that, and we'll see what the candle breakdown looks like once it does hit that zone. The Swiss pair that treated me well last month, so on average it does about 50. I do think lower. Keep this 250. This one I don't really. I did draw that zone based on 4-hour, but I think be a little bit more conservative. Put a zone, some more daily wicks. Something like, I think I'll move this 55, and then I'll put this here, because then we at least know there's upwards resistance in this area. We don't know that about, if I drop this down to a 4-hour and I draw a zone here, I don't know if that's legitimate enough. Look at this fib here, that's right at that level. Yeah, I would just wait a bit on this one because I don't know exactly what it wants to do yet. I know there's a zone here that's going to have to break. We will, but have to wait. What is this even a month? 50. So that puts us at D3. 3 would be 50. We either go with 200 or we go with 250. 200 would be 325, obviously. But if we go with 250, which I think is more reasonable, 270 monthly range, something like this, when it does set up a bit. If it starts showing us resistance before hitting this zone, then I'll jump on it. But I want to see some resistance because we have this huge bullish candle on Friday. Out of this or that, bears are a couple. It's just starting to, but we just have to wait. We have to wait on this a little bit before entering, and then it'll be good to go with that one. Kiwi is where it gets. Kiwi is going. Oh no, because the Kiwi against the other pairs seem to be getting stronger. Last so bullish. Obviously. Alright, we're back. Let's see if the stream's still going. It's good. Yep, it's good. So, Kiwi Yen, 400 pips. I do believe it's a bullish. We want it to break the top of the low for roughly 88.5. And that means our target, if we're targeting 400 pips, would be 92.5. Very high top of it. Our trade will probably look something actually that I marked up on Friday. I want to, something you could you could buy it now. There has been here and then a big candle into this zone, higher high, higher low, starting to wick. I do think you could buy it now, but it might go. Bulls might not have come, so I would set an alert here. And then if it hits the top of this zone, this 93 level, then you're probably going to go to buy. So it's going to have to take this huge zone. I think it'll do it, and so I will wait there. I do think that the other pound pairs and stuff getting weaker. I do think the Kiwi will get strong. I do think it'll move this monthly amount. I think we just gotta wait. We gotta wait till this hits the top of this zone and then enter. $D bearish. The moving average moves about 120 pips a month on this. Breaking lower, wicks lower. Last month was pretty shitty, so I would say that we're going to continue lower. What do we say? 320 pips a month. So 6. There's a little bit of resistance area here. So I would wait for price to come up to this like 616, maybe 617, just to be in that zone. And then we're targeting 320 just below that. So 58.50 is 300 pip, correct? 320 I meant. Yep. So that's your 320 pip move we're shooting for. If we do decide to take a trade, once it gets to that zone, right now it did show a lot of bullish momentum on Friday, so I would just wait a little bit, come back up, retest this zone, retest this moving average, and then make some money. Oh well. So bearish on the daily, struggling to break this CR out. August moves about $13 a month now. You can see that it's not really making lower lows. It has been making high. As of right now, this is our most recent area. Could be creating a new one right now. 4 hours. Doesn't tell you enough. Does look to be respecting this moving average, but I would still probably a little bit more safer. There's no sense in taking high risk trades when you need to. Plenty of other pairs where we make a lot of money on investing capital and just sitting on it, having it go against. You basically sit on a position for 3 weeks. It just goes against you. Doesn't even have to be a huge loss. It's a loss, and it tied up your capital all month. You didn't need to do that. You could have just taken a better trade. We'll say 72.50. We'll say 72, and then it moves about $13. So that puts us at $59, and that seems extreme, but on average, it does move about $13 a month. It has been. If this is our new high, then and it does move lower and it does do its normal monthly range, that is the position. Like that is a price it'll hit. So then it'll have to take out this zone. And I believe that if it takes this zone out, which it's tested 5 times now, been testing it since mid-March. So and now making lower highs. So I do think this is an accurate position to take, to wait for price to come up. If it starts making wicks, let's say right here, 3-4 days in a row, then early. If not, we'll wait for it to come up here, see what it does in there. But it's the UK 100. I remember looking at this. It's really respecting this trend line. Let's see what it does on the very bearish month in May, and then June came up. This is also a nice setup. So it moves on average 410. We factor in this month. I'm going to shoot a little bit high, but I think 450. So right now, this is our most recent area resistance. So we'll keep that in mind. Zone, don't need it. So if this moves 450, say this is our high. If price makes this high, it's currently testing this. It might not even make this high, but 76. Yeah, you know what? We'll say 430. Very reasonable. We'll say that's our high. Say 7,200. 400. This is our target. We need price to come back up to this area, and if it doesn't, if it starts wicking early, you could see that there is actually a zone that it might actually be respecting as I speak. Yeah, this would be very good. Very good to notice this. Rejected. Finally broke. Came down. Might be rejecting. So, and you have this 4-hour moving it. So there's a chance that price does not make it up here. So we will wait. If we get multiple 4-hour rejected candles here, especially as London opens, so probably like New York time, early tomorrow Monday, we might actually have it before then. We just have to see in the next, we'll say this 4-hour candle, so the next hour and a half, and the next 4-hour candles after that, we'll see what those do. If those just reject this area, then we could probably end up doing that. If they break this area, then I would wait for it to come up here, and then just see. Makes more sense to wait. But either way, within the next half a day, we should. Alright, so the US 500 can be very similar to the NASDAQ. Above that, don't know. Monthly wise, does about something super. Could very well do it. Is a zone. It's struggling in the zone. I'm going to keep this zone for now because it is technical in it. 44. We'll say that's our monthly low. That usually does 300. Is that what we decided? I think it's going to lift higher. 47. This is our monthly projection. See if it'll do something that. In order for me to take a trade on that, I'd have to see. I don't know what it would take a trade on that. I think this is technically a decent trade right now, but personally, there's not a real entry. There's a lot of resistance at this 45.50 area. Last week did very bullish. Tough to say right now. I think maybe we'll look at this again in a few days and then just see. But right now I don't feel anything. Okay, USD CAD is over now. Below the last month was super. On average, it was 400 pips a month. It is bearish on the daily. Below this, moving out. We're gonna look for. Don't need it for this. So we're gonna look for. And we know it moves about 400 pips. So here's your 130. I'll say that's the high for the low, and we'll just see how this area. Might be okay to short it now, honestly, because it was in this area, rejection. You can see it made this like 4-hour area here. This candle destroyed it. So you had this big bearish candle. Well, first off, you had this candle wick make a lower high to this one. Then you had a big bearish and destroy that one out of the zone. And now you have some candles back into this zone. So I would say, actually put that back. I would say that now. If not, wait till it enters this zone again and retest it at final time. If it makes a lower high relative to this one, let's say it only makes it up to here, and then there's another bearish engulfing candle, I would enter. And that'll probably happen New York time tomorrow morning. So I would just wait. And I think that's a neck down like this, their trajectory. And then, yeah, we'll just wait. I might actually set an for this one. Set it for red area. Okay, almost done. USD Swiss to do this. For now, first, still very bearish on the daily, 350 a month. And see, it is struggling with this area here, So we want to sell this. This is actually a level here. So we'll 0.9 is high for the month. How much? 350. So 86.5 will be our low target. See this, and then so in order to enter a trade, I probably could now. We had bearish engulfing go right out of this after that, and that was Friday. So less volume in the market, and it still did that. But let's say real can let it bring an alert for the bottom of this zone. What's that? What? 20 alerts? Huh. Some of these ones then. I can't send any more alerts, but we'll just watch this. Price hits the bottom of this. Short. Got this area here and head to lower to the target of 85. Once it breaks this area, there'll be enough momentum coming down into this area that we had before, and it'll go right through it, end up at 65, no problem. USD yen, our final yen pair. What do we have this to August? It's obviously very bullish still, which is good. This moving average last month it was a little bit slower. This huge zone here. On a monthly aspect, it usually moves about, so it's got. So Friday there's a bearish candle closed out of this zone. We can see that 4-hour. This is actually a good chunk of it. So that could be our monthly support. 144 level. Okay, we'll call it 144. Oh, yeah. So we'll say 144 is our month. This goes 650. So that would put us at 150. Very high for now. So this is our target. Now, if these yen pairs start retracing, changes everything. If they don't start retracing, heading up, we just ride them up. But we do know resistance is pretty high up. You can definitely make it to this area, or at least close to it. We're definitely safe to go up to like 49 for sure. Then the momentum might be dying off. So we might not hit our full 650 hit move this month, but a 500 would be awesome too. So obviously we just gotta wait. We gotta wait till the price either breaks this area, then we know we're heading higher. If it breaks this area, then we know we gotta just wait. It's retracing. How much we don't know, but we'll just have to wait it out and see. Significant. Price has to break it. When it does, we know we're probably to head higher. But as of right now, and actually the 4-hour seems one's going to close in 25 minutes. You could buy it now. Like I might actually, to be honest, but it's not the best. It's not the most perfect setup. Your entry is a little iffy because we don't know if the support is actually there yet. To wait a bit until the bullish one comes in, especially as we go further into the Asian Tokyo session right now. But could be something like this. Could get a 20R if you jumped in on it now. That'd be crazy, but totally doable. So that's USD yen. Check out silver. Bullish, barely, just struggling with this moving average. I don't think I really have a trust. Understand it too much now. So monthly resistance up here, or low, or high, lower. Don't really know. Don't really have much. I'm just gonna leave it. We'll check out gold. Last one. I do believe gold is going to head higher. A resistance zone here. We're looking at this last week. It a perfect 618 retracement or trade. So I do think this is going to head higher. We'll look at our monthly breakdowns here. About $120 a month it's moving right now. So if our low is $1,900 for the month, you're looking at about 220. That's your $120 move. Our August marker here. Something like that for gold for the month of July. Still above this perfect doji candle right at this. Hit this 1900 whole number area. Rejected. Just like it's very reasonable to say that gold is back up. Obviously there's some areas that'll be beat in order to hit that one. It could even lower here, this area first, have to do in order to go higher. Then you kind of know that it's probably most head higher for the rest of the month. This area, if the month starts off really bullish and breaks this, probably head higher. So that is our breakdown. That is everything I got. Thanks for watching. Appreciate anyone who watches this. Hopefully you learned something. Reach out. You figure out all the trades that I personally want to take for the week and the month based on everything I went through on all the charts. And I'll see you in the next one.